Howdy folks, Braap Tastic here on this lovely fall day, out ripping around. Oop. Currently out stalling my bike. So yeah, I'm out ripping around on this lovely fall day, and recently a friend of mine nominated me for a little game called the Game of Fours, where you have a few categories and you come up with 4 different things in each category that apply to you. Sort of a get to know me a little better sort of thing. So I figured I would rip around on Wynonna. Throw up a little bit of dirt and talk to you guys for a minute. So the first category on the list is foods. 4 favorite foods. I am a carnivore. I'm a meatitarian. My favorite food by far is steak. I love steak. Love me some steak. So whenever possible, I will throw a steak on the barbecue, or I will do a butter-basted steak in a cast iron skillet on the stove. That is my all-time favorite way to cook steak. If you don't know about butter-basted steaks, you are missing out. Number 2 would have to be pasta. I love pasta. It's just so versatile. You can do so many things with pasta and they're all delicious. So pasta is my number 2. Number 3 is pizza. Must have pizza on the list. I don't know that I could live in a world without pizza. So steak, pasta, pizza. Number 4 on the list would have to be chocolate. Any kind of chocolate. A nice dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa or cacao, or however you pronounce it. Or a rich, creamy milk chocolate. Either or. I'm happy. Beggars can't be choosers. So I'll take chocolate in any way, shape, or form. So that's my 4 favorite foods. On to the next one, which is 4 favorite drinks. Number 1, by a landslide, coffee. I like a dark roast coffee. I have a Tassimo brewer at home, and one of the types of coffee that it makes is a dark roast coffee called crema, with a nice rich froth on top. Oh, it's delicious. It's a beautiful thing. Favorite drink is coffee. Second favorite is beer. I like a nice hoppy IPA or a light lager. If I'm just drinking cheap beer just for kicks, I'll drink any of the major brands. Budweiser, PBR, Coors, Wilson Canadian, whatever. Not overly picky. If I get a little fancier, I go with Sam Adams Boston Lager or Sleeman Breweries, which is Canadian only, but Sleeman's Cream Ale. That's a beautiful beer. So yeah, beer. Love me some beer. I am slowly but surely, very slowly, learning to appreciate bourbon. So bourbon is my number 3 on my list of favorite beverages. There's one called Knob Creek that I quite like. So if I have a favorite at the moment, that would be it. Coffee, beer, bourbon, and for my number 4, I would have to say iced tea. I am an iced tea fan in the summer. I prefer it much better than lemonade or any of the other typical summertime drinks of the non-alcoholic variety. So that's my 4 favorite drinks: coffee, beer, bourbon, and iced tea. On to the next one. I love that sound. Next on the list of categories is 4 places where I have lived. And my family is quite well traveled. I was born in Kansas, so there's number 1 on the list. Is Kansas. No, I have never been to Oz. I don't know Dorothy. I've never had a dog named Toto. And no one has ever dropped a house on anyone in my family. Not so far, anyway. After Kansas, which we left when I was quite young, we moved to Southern Ontario in Canada. Lived there for a few years. And when I was 8 years old, we headed west again and moved to Manitoba, which is where I spent most of my formative years in Winnipeg. So there's Kansas, Ontario, Manitoba. And when I grew up and moved out on my own and decided that I was going to head further west, I moved to Alberta, which is where I live now and where I have been for 16 years now? 17 years. So 4 places I have lived: Kansas, Ontario, Manitoba, and Alberta. And last but not least on the list of categories is places I have been. And like the old song says, I've been everywhere, man. During my trucking career, I have been to 48 states and 9 out of the 10 provinces. Only province I never made it to was Newfoundland. I just never had a chance to get that far. The places I have been, the memorable ones, I would have to say, I have touched the Pacific Ocean in Vancouver, British Columbia. I have touched the Atlantic Ocean in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I have touched the Gulf of California, or the Sea of Cortez, or whatever it's called, in Cabo San Lucas. And I have touched the Caribbean in the Dominican Republic. So, Vancouver, BC, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. 4 places I have been. And that's the end of the list of categories for this particular game of 4s. Thanks, Rob, for nominating me. And I will nominate some other people on the list. I'm going to do that as a scrolling text thing at the end because I forgot to think about that in advance. I'm not a smart man. All right, folks, on that note, everybody ride safe and have fun, and I will see you on the next video. Braap Tastic out.